These Soviet artillerymen were about to make an urgent retreat, but a distress letter pulled them back to the battlefield. They would rush to the front lines barefoot, fighting the Germans for control of the coastline. But then Andrei was called out of the ranks by his father. Andrei's father was the commanding officer here. He wanted his son to evacuate with the navy, but Andrei saw this as his father using his power to make him abandon his comrades and become a deserter. Andrei flat out refused his father's request, but what his father said next made Andrei willingly choose to be a deserter, because just a few days ago, the Germans had bombed Leningrad. The entire city had turned into ruins. Over 2 million civilians were left homeless. It wouldn't be long before these civilians were facing starvation, but at this moment nearly the entire Soviet fleet had been destroyed by the Germans. The only vessels left to evacuate civilians were a few cargo ships, but these cargo ships had no defensive weapons at all. If they encountered German bombers, they would be sunk in an instant. As the Soviet Navy argued endlessly about how to evacuate the civilians, the captain of one cargo ship made it clear each ship could carry a maximum of 600 people. There was no way to evacuate 2 million people, but Andrei's father strongly insisted on loading 1,500 people onto each ship at a time, and this kind of overloading would greatly increase the risk of capsizing. If anything went wrong, over 1,000 people would go down with the ship. No one dared to take on that responsibility, but time was running out. To convince everyone to go along with the plan, the commander made a bold decision. He would send his own son Andrei on the ship to bear the same risk as the civilians on board. That finally convinced the others to carry out the evacuation plan, and so Andrei boarded the cargo ship, but because of this his comrades mistakenly thought he was a deserter. Meanwhile his girlfriend, who had already boarded, saw Andrei's artillery unit heading to the front lines. She then wanted to get off the ship to say goodbye to her boyfriend, but unexpectedly she ran into Andrei just as he had boarded the ship. But when his girlfriend saw him in a navy uniform, she likewise believed that Andrei had deserted. Before Andrei could explain, girlfriend went back to the ship by herself. Meanwhile the artillery unit, in order to buy time for the retreating civilians, they will head to the coastline to draw the German forces' fire.